face, I run a cast off. Test up on my face, I been a cast off. I just asked you reply, what you rap about? Walk in, take a seat in my trap house. Blind lead the blind, I just chose the bag rock. Wake up, rent due, gotta work my ass off. Ain't tryna favor expectations, gotta stand out. Time been in that cell too long, gotta get my mans out. Be on the block working, tryna get them grams out. It's all gonna make sense later, the scale weighing out. Running through baggies, I might serve with no bag. Running through establishments and hook the cold at it. Bitch thought she was legit, but had the old addict. All this playing patty cake, they asking what's the pack today. This my new shit, now I ain't tryna elaborate. Been feeling like a castaway, got bodies too that passed away. Ain't really in the front of things. Can you roll my blunt and things? Hello? What you said? Bet. Test up on my face, I been a cast off. I just asked you reply, what you rap about? Walk in, take a seat in my trap house. Blind lead the blind, I just chose the bag rock. Test up on my face, I been a cast off. I just asked you reply, what you rap about? Walk in, take a seat in my trap house. Blind lead the blind, I just chose the bag rock. New bitch from Mississippi, we moving with no conditions. Out in the open with it, I gotta be open with it. Closed minds don't get fed, maybe more specific. This a rental, but I drive it like it's mine. Eagle on my face, tell a lawyer drop the case. They ain't got no cars, I got order on this way. Put a plate on a plate, put a bait on a bait. Working in the kitchen, chef boy all way. Money calling me, how can I act funny? He just got the trap jumping, we been listening last Sunday. I may take a flight tomorrow, then record that whole night. They just put a bag up, I'm gon' paint the stage white. My bitch is in strip club, they don't got stage fright. Boy, them doors lift up, hold up, fool, that's wave, right? I can't do a verse for a verse, my shit top notch. Niggas see the ball coming and want a box out. She just put her tummy where her ass rockin' crop top. He got shot up in the head, not a block hot. Lil' bro up on that red, wanna walk out. Just make sure you put that shit on when you pop out. I got that shit on. Alright, let me do the skirt. And we back, man. We motherfucking back, man. Monday night madness, shouting matches, all that, man. We getting it in tonight, man. First things first, man. Shout out to my motherfucking Philadelphia Eagles. Big shout out to my motherfucking Philadelphia Eagles, man. We looked good. We looked good yesterday. Last night we looked amazing. We looked pretty amazing. I'm watching this goddamn Astros game. 8-2 in the 5th inning. Astros, we gotta get it together. We got to come back. They took off in the 4th, I believe. They took off in the 3rd, I believe. But, man, Astros, we got to come back together. Philadelphia Eagles, we looked amazing. Beat the Miami Dolphins. I think it was like 31-17, something like that. Ran the clock out in the red zone. Could have scored again. Went up by 20 on them boys. I just want to say, the goddamn defense, man. The damn defense. Oh yeah, we got Kevin Byard today for a 4th round pick and a 5th round pick, and Terrell Edmonds, our safety. Kevin Byard from the Tennessee Titans to solidify the back end of my Philadelphia Eagles secondary. Man, I just gotta say, it's a great day to be an Eagles fan. Yesterday night was a great day to be an Eagles fan. I got my Eagles jersey. I got my Eagles shirt on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, great day. Great day to be a goddamn Eagles fan. And we putting it on, putting it in their faces. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna see everything. They're gonna see Jalen Hurts, AJ1K, Fast Batman, Slim Batman, and Swole Batman. And now we just got Julio Jones. Um, what should we call Julio Jones? The veteran Batman. But yeah, man. Everything looking good with my Philadelphia Eagles. I was going. Let me see what I want to jump in. See what I want to get into. What I want to get into. Alright. Let me see. Um, this Friday, we got my show. We got the getaway place from 8 to 1. This Friday, we got the getaway place from 8 to 1. Don't forget, man, pull up, come fuck with me. Pine Club on deck. I'm gonna have that shit everywhere. Let me show y'all some new designs. Let me see if I got them. Let me see if I got. Let me see what I got. Oh yeah, right here. I'm gonna have this shirt on deck. You know what I'm saying? $35. I need y'all to be at this event. It's gonna be over 10 artists performing. Over 10 artists performing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be broadcasting my goddamn Pine Club. Y'all already know how we get it in. So yeah, man, this Friday it is going down. I'm hitting the stage, performing my new album, Rise to Fame 3. Um, Shout out to Fro. You know what I'm saying? Me and Fro show. We definitely gonna push the motherfucking envelope. Push the goddamn. We gonna push this shit till we can't push this shit no more. So shout out to Fro. Let's see what I got. When the Eagles win the Super Bowl, when the Eagles win the Super Bowl, they need to play this song at the end.
The big gon' do what she want. I'ma run it up while I come from the front. I don't need a stunt, man. I can do my own stunt. One call plug calling me for the front. Slow down on the ass, calling me for the one. I roll down on his ass, he just waiting on the blunt. Fell in love with a chain smoke. Jimmy DJ screw. Stay down and get a Range Rover. Trying something different with something I love. House in the kitchen, still serving the drug. Lucky money in my heart, bitch. Thought it was a lot back gas on the north. Hot pieces in the car. No teeth, it's a see-through. About to slap a Hebrew. Chain 90 B2. We gon' do what we do. You ain't trying to take no losses. That way be out bottled. I'ma need a few bottles and pop them out. We won a championship. Yo, yo. Like we won a championship. Yo, yo. Like we won a championship. Yo, yo. Like we won a championship. Yo, 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 yo. Like we won a championship. Yo, yo. Like we won a championship. Yo, yo. Like we won a championship. Yo, whoa, 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 whoa. Roasty got in with the pole, we ain't trying to get searched again. Probably got mines in the purse and shit. You decide what I hear on my side, I guess it's my word against. One with the murder me. They see me and let church begin. Word got in the room to searching me. They mention me when it's serving in. who you worshiping? Man pulled up in some German shit. Oh, this your block on some permanent shit. This ain't my first offense. Get picky by certain shit. Say verse for my ass, the merch again. Tell my people we never go hurt again. They in black driving forward like hearses in. Like people with the Rockies, white boy club, fuck with the sky shit. Need my trophy for working my options. I got it on me, she digging my outfit. Free hood rich. I'm outside with no shirt. Say you got your game on lock, didn't like it. Here come Wayne guard, he done locks me a big old paper in my pot. Like we won a championship. Yup, yup. 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 Like we won a championship. I'm on 1960, moving swiftly.
Real. Nah, motherfucking real. Alright, let me share my screen. Alright. Alright, so we got so good. Alright, so we got this verse here is Isaiah 20. In the year that the supreme commander sent by Sargon, king of Assyria, came to Ashdod and attacked and captured it. At that time, the Lord spoke through Isaiah, son of Amoz. He said to him, "Take off the sackcloth from your body and the sandals from your feet." And he did so, going around stripped and barefoot. Are you telling me? Bobo walking around this motherfucker naked, and he around here tripping. I say, then the Lord said, just as my servant Isaiah has gone stripped and barefoot for 3 years as a sign of portent against Egypt and Cush, so the king of Assyria will lead away stripped and barefoot the Egyptian captives and Cushite exiles, young and old, with buttocks bared to Egypt's shame. Let me make sure I'm looking at this shit right. We got Brother Chip in here. We got Brother Rambo Chopper here. What the business is? How y'all dudes feeling tonight?
Yes, sir.
Hey, can y'all see my screen?
Yeah.
Brother Chip, you good?
Yeah.
All right, let's say, I'm gonna read this again. This is, we're looking at Isaiah 20, the prophecy against Egypt and Cush. In the year that the supreme commander sent by Sargon, king of Assyria, came to Ashdod and attacked and captured it. At that time, the Lord spoke through Isaiah, son of Amoz. He said to him, "Take off the sackcloth from your body and the sandals from your feet." And he did so, going around stripped and barefoot. This nigga going around naked. Verse 3. Then the Lord said, just as my servant Isaiah has gone stripped and barefoot for 3 years. This nigga was naked for 3 years and didn't go to jail. Then the Lord said, just as my servant Isaiah has gone stripped and barefoot for 3 years as a sign and portent against Egypt and Cush, so the king of Assyria will lead away stripped and barefoot the Egyptian captives and Cushite exiles, young and old, with buttocks bare to Egypt's shame. Verse 5. Those who trusted in Cush and boasted in Egypt will be dismayed and put to shame. In that day, the people who live on this coast will say, "See what has happened to those who relied on, those we fled to for help and deliverance from the king of Assyria, how then can we escape? All right, let me stop scaring my screen. Man, I feel like Brother Chip, I know you probably just coming in, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is he doing? He got this Bible open, peeling the pages back.
So you want to know what the context is?
Yes, sir. I need some help.
Well, Assyria was in the 8th century BC a very powerful but fragile empire, and Egypt was at that time on its last legs as a major force in the ancient Near East. It had about another. It had a. It had. It had fallen on hard times. It was like a major power, which had over time lost a lot of its technological edge. It had lost its ability to isolate itself by being in the desert and tucked away from all potential enemies. And Assyria was a very powerful, very ruthless, and very dangerous enemy to anybody that it wanted to attack. And so you have Assyria, which is in the north, and you have Egypt, which is in the south. And they were both vying for influence and power over all their little neighbors in between them, which included Israel and Philistia and and Syria and Phoenicia, which was present day Lebanon, Aram, which would be in present day Syria, Philistia, which is on the coast, Gaza, more or less where the Gaza Strip is, would be where Ashdod was, what they're talking about there, one of the 5 cities of the Philistine coalition. And so you have these two empires who are trying to expand and have influence and take over. And Isaiah was trying to balance things out to keep Israel and Judah from falling under control and disappearing under the influence of either Egypt or Assyria. Sort of like two elephants in the room, and the little mouse is trying not to get crushed.
Okay. So let me stop sharing. So um this verse, the title of it says prophecy against Egypt and Cush. Would that be a would that be a correct title for those verses?
Yeah, I mean, Cush would be what you're talking about there is the Egyptians would call it Upper and Lower Egypt. You would have Egypt to the north and Cush to the south. So Cush is kind of moving down the Nile River Valley towards Sudan, where people where where Africans were starting, black Africans were starting to live. And then Egypt would have been the more tan northern Africans by the Nile River Delta.
Let me ask you this, brother Chip. Um, God said that He will make the Egyptians walk with their booty out. For how many? Oh, let me see. For how many years did it say? It say so. The king of Assyria will lead away. Then the Lord said, "Just as my servant has gone stripped barefoot for 3 years, as a sign of porting against Egypt and Cush, so the king of Assyria will lead away, stripped and barefoot, the Egyptian captives and Cushite exiles, young and old, with buttocks bare, and eat to Egypt's shame."
Those who trusted in Cush and boasted in Egypt will be dismayed and put to shame. In that day, the people who live on this coast will say, see what has happened to those we relied on. Let me ask you this, Brother Chip. Me being an African American, me being a continental um uh, African of the diaspora, reading that verse right there, it say the Egyptian and the Cushite. Now, from what I know, when the Bible speak of the Cushite, it's just speaking of darker, not darker, excuse me. It's going deeper into Africa. It's
Yeah.
going deeper into Africa.
Yes.
So it's one thing for a person to look at Egypt and say it's not in Africa, or Egypt is Mediterranean, or Egypt is full of sand dweller Arabs. It's another thing to take Egypt and Kush and put them together. So that's signifying and that's uniting African forces. That's uniting that, hey, we're not talking about no damn Arab. We talking about black people here. We ain't talking about no goddamn sand dweller. Just like how you
No,
was mentioning.
this is before all that.
Correct. So just like how you was mentioning the Assyrians and where Gaza is today, it's very it's crazy to me that God would take an Arab side over an African side. That makes no sense to me.
Well, there is no Arabs at this point. This is the Arabs don't show up in Egypt for another 1,400 years.
Brother Chip, when they speak of the Assyrians, those and Arabs are the same people.
No.
All right, explain to me the difference in phenotype.
Well, I mean, phenotype. There's no. I mean, it's not that.
They're both
The word
Caucasoid.
the word Arab means desert dweller.
Right.
The Arab is a description. Arab is a word in the Bible which refers to the Bedouin. It has nothing to do with race or skin color or anything else. It's lifestyle. The um, the Arameans, the people who are that those are mountain dwellers, and the Arabs are desert dwellers. It's just a description of how they live. It
Brother
has nothing
Chip,
to.
Brother Chip, can we both agree that the Arabs and the everybody in the Middle East, the Arabs, the Middle East, Assyrians, whatever you want to call them, these are all the same people. These are all Middle Eastern. They all come from the Caucasus Mountains. Still, they all just Middle Eastern and got darker by the sun, my brother.
Well, the Assyrians were the Assyrians. Ashur. The two cities of Assyria that were important were Ashur and Nineveh. And Nineveh was the main city at the time when the Neo-Assyrian Empire came to be. But they were very powerful. They had a great military. They were very cruel, but they had a lot of enemies. So they got very. I mean, they had a period of great military success. They pretty much controlled every. They conquered Syria. They conquered the Phoenicians. They took over. They took over big pieces of the coastal plains. They ended up eventually taking over the northern part of the kingdom of Israel, the Sumerian kingdom. They conquered them. then the last thing they were able to do, the last great military push that they had was conquering Egypt. And they went into Egypt and they took captives, and probably, typically in wartime, that's how when you had a slave, that's what you did. You took the clothes off of them to keep them from running away, and you shackled them up one after another and led them out on foot. That was what happened when you lost a war in the ancient world. You became the other guy's slave. So it makes perfect
Okay.
sense.
Well, which part makes perfect sense?
No, given the culture of the time, if you lose the war, you become the slave of the person who conquers you. That's how it worked.
Most definitely. I agree with you on that, brother Chip. But God ordered this. God ordered these hits. God said the Egyptians and the Cushites will walk around with their booty out.
That's what happens when you lose a war. It
I'm asking.
it
My question would be to you is, brother Chip, when they say God said in the Bible, are they speaking of the Arab God? Or are they saying one God over like one creator? Who is the Bible speaking of when it says, and God said?
well that would be the God of Israel said that would say that. Yes.
I like that. I like that. I like how see, Mr. Chip, you be being real, man. You be keeping it real with me. Cause if you would have said, nah, this is the creator, this is the one and only God demanding these acts and foul plays, then we would have had a problem, Mr. Chip. But you telling me this is they God making these claims. He's biased, right?
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, you could look at it this way. This is a you could call it a really good analysis of power politics if you want. You can say that this is that Isaiah and the Isaiah school, these school of prophets, because Isaiah is like the king of the prophets. He's he's the leading light of prophecy. He's the most important prophet in the 8th century. There are others, but he's like number one. And so if you look at it you can look at it in terms of a really sophisticated political analysis. Here we are in the middle. You've got these little kingdoms. You've got this really powerful kingdom in the north, Assyria. You have this weaker kingdom in the south who used to be the big dog, but has been getting steadily weaker over the years. They've been affected more and more by invasions, by internal divisions, by problems over religion, and they're getting weaker. And the Assyrians are strong. So then the question is for a prophet of Israel, where is God in all this? Where is my God in all this? What do we? Where are we? What can we do? And so Isaiah said, well, whatever we do, we have to be faithful to the God of Israel. If we are faithful to the God of Israel, he will protect us. If we are unfaithful to the God of Israel, we're on our own and we'll go down with everybody else. That's how they saw it. That's their view of the world.
Okay. So if I'm a African American, I'm black, or if I'm African, and I'm looking at these this Isaiah, what is that, Isaiah 20? Isaiah 20. How am I supposed to feel about this, brother Chip?
Well, I mean, if you're an Israelite, it's, how is God going to keep us safe? How are we going to live in
Let
the
me
middle
ask
of
you
a
this.
world that has so much trouble?
Let me ask you this, brother Chip. Are you an Israelite?
No,
Okay, so if I'm an African American, right? And I
right.
just and I'm in America, speaking English is not my native tongue. Um, I'm a minority. Um, Everything is against me. But the church house, they feeding me on Sundays. They gave me this book, right? They give me this holy Bible to read to get my life together. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm a black man in America. And when I
All
get
right.
to Isaiah 20, this Israelite God that you just called him, he's talking about shaming Egyptians and Cushites, which is basically Africans, two civilizations in Africa. He's talking about shaming them and making them walk with their booty out and barefooted. Um, how am I supposed to take that, brother Chip?
Well, first of all, it's first of all, it's not directly about you. It's about, the prophecy was about them in their time. It's not about you in your time. What you're at, what it is for you is to look at, what can I learn from this? What can I learn about life? What can I learn about the world? What can I learn about how to live in a dangerous, difficult, hostile world? So, what do you do when you are weak and everything around you is strong? The Assyrians are strong, the Egyptians are strong, and you are in a world where there's powerful forces that are pushing you one way, pushing you another way. What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to take sides? Are you supposed to say, I'm going to go? I'm going to go join myself to Assyria. I'm going to join myself to Egypt. I'm going to fight a war with one. I'm going to fight a war with the other. And the answer was no. I'm not. We're not going to do any of those things. We're going to let the process of history play out. We are not going to fight them. We are not going to join them. We are not going to do any of that. We are going to trust in God, and He will bring us through this. So that was that. So that was the lesson that Isaiah was teaching the people of Israel. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. I put something in your in your post that from Numbers 12, I think verses 1 through 4, where Moses married a Cushite. So Moses, the prophet of Israel, had a mixed marriage. He had a black wife. We don't know what color he was, but he had a black wife. So, black is part of black is part of Israel.
It was something.
And not,
He had he had a black wife, but it was a stigma against her though. I
well,
can try to
his family was against it.
right.
His family was against it. They're saying, "Well, here
That
you
sound
married
like
this
that
black
sound like
woman."
2020.
What's that?
That sound like 2020. We going through that right now.
Well, we shouldn't be, but we shouldn't be. Human beings are human beings. If you marry, if you marry a white wife, if I marry like I did a Colombian wife, a Hispanic wife, it's a human being.
But
Um,
why in the Bible? But why in the Bible it lets you know that his family was mad that he married a black woman?
but God didn't. But God said Moses was the meekest. The commentary, because this isn't what Moses himself wrote. Obviously, he says, "Now Moses was the meekest man in all the earth." So he wasn't out. He was just trying to live his life. And his family was against it, and his family said, "Why are you the prophet? Why are you this big thing when we also have heard the voice of God? And this woman, what does she have to do with us? Why did you marry? Why did you marry this black woman? And why does God make you the prophet and everybody else? When we're also prophets, we should be as big as you are." And Numbers comes down on them for that. The God of Israel comes down on them for putting themselves over Moses.
So when
Why
you,
shouldn't he have the woman he loves? Why shouldn't he?
I gotta agree with you on that part. But the fact that the Bible shows the prejudiceness in the black woman when you, that was Moses, you said,
Right.
right? So let me before we get, I'm gonna go back to that point. I want to show you one more scripture.
Go ahead.
Ezekiel 30. Let me
All
share
right.
my screen. All right, let me see. All right, did my screen? Oh no, I didn't do nothing. Hold up, let me see. You can see that.
The day of the Lord, a sword will come.
Ezekiel 30, a lament over Egypt. The
Right.
word of the Lord came to me, son of man, prophecy. What'd you say, Brother Chip?
Yeah. Keep reading. I've seen this. Ezekiel is taking up the same subject that Isaiah took up the century earlier. So this has been coming on for a long time.
So are you saying that Ezekiel and Isaiah went through the same tribulations?
No, they were prophesying about the same thing. This was like Isaiah's 8th century, and Ezekiel is like 6th century.
Okay.
So from 8th century to 6th century, this has been building up. So this is nothing new. I mean, Isaiah prophesied it in the 8th century, and then Ezekiel lived through the actual time when he lived through the time when the Assyrians came through, and then later when the Babylonians came through. And in both cases, Egypt and Cush uh, came out losers on the thing.
Okay. Now check this out. It say verse 30. The word of the Lord came to me, son of man, prophecy, and say, this is what the sovereign Lord says. Well and say, alas for that day, for the day is near. The day of the Lord is near, the day of clouds, the time of doom for the nation. A sword will come against Egypt, and anguish will come upon Cush. When a slain fall in Egypt, her wealth will be carried away and her foundations torn down. Cush and Libya, Lydia, and all Arabia, Cub, and the people of the covenant land will fall by the sword along with Egypt. This is what the Lord say. The allies of Egypt will fall, and her proud strength will fail. From Migdal to Aswan, that's in that cataract. They will fall by the sword within her, declares the sovereign Lord. They will be desolate among those desolate lands, and their cities will lie among ruined cities. Then they will know that I am the Lord when I set fire to Egypt, and all her helpers are crushed. All right, brother Chip, I'm gonna need some goddamn help right here, man. That sound like white on black violence, brother Chip.
It has nothing to do with race at all. It's a political culture clash. I mean, there was no racial animosity in those days. I mean, if
Brother
you
Chip,
were you won, you lost. If you won, you took slaves. If you lost, you were the slave. That's how it works.
brother Chip, can we both agree? Can we both agree that that this this fairy tale is coming from a Middle Eastern point of view?
Well, that's where they lived, wasn't it? I mean, that's
Right,
they're living
right.
in the Middle East.
So if this story is coming from a Middle Eastern point of view, and this God got a Middle Eastern interest, well, he's shitting on Africa every chance he get. As an
But
African
the
American,
problem is it happened. The problem simply is that is what happened. That the Assyrians and the Babylonians were stronger than the Egyptians.
brother
That's the
Chip,
reality.
brother Chip, brother Chip. What I'm saying is, as a as a as a black man, how can I read these? How can I read Isaiah and Ezekiel and not hate God?
I mean, it doesn't have to do with you. I mean, they're not. It I mean, this is a prophecy from what? From in the case of Ezekiel, like the early sixth century.
Brother Chip.
We're
If I'm
talking 2,600 years ago.
But all right, brother Chip, but my DNA go back 2,600 years ago. If I make a rap song, brother Chip, about your brother, if I make a rap song dissing your brother, calling your brother all kind of names, threatening him, saying I'm gonna take his pants off and take his shoes off, and he go walk with his booty out and with no shoes on. If I say all of that stuff, brother Chip, you can say they don't got nothing to do with you, but that's your goddamn brother I'm talking about, Chip. These my goddamn ancestors in Africa that the Bible is speaking nasty of, brother Chip. So it's funny to say that ain't got nothing to do with me, but if I take my DNA test, it's showing Central Africa, West Africa,
Well, if it's Central and West Africa, then you're not even in the picture at all.
brother Chip. It says Africa. That's what we gotta understand. I come from Africa. You come from where you from, brother Chip?
Well, I think most of my ancestry is
Irish.
from a soggy place in northwestern Europe,
Okay, brother Chip.
the Netherlands, and maybe a little British Isles.
Okay, so if
But
I
I'm
have
not
a
in the Bible. I mean, I'm not in the Bible. It's not. I'm not there, and you're not in the Bible.
brother Chip,
This isn't a
brother
prophecy
Chip,
about you.
brother Chip, you're not in the Bible. My people is in God is dissing my people in the Bible. Now look, northwestern, you said North Europe, correct. That is not in the Bible, brother Chip. But
No,
if I put out a album dissing North Europe, you gonna feel some type of way, brother Chip. You're gonna be like, damn, he dissing where I'm from. Let's
but
go.
it's not.
I
It's
gotta go
not
right
about
on
an
to the
album.
page.
It's not. It's not about an album. It's about it. You could look at it this way. Look at it as a political analysis. If this helps you, look at it as a political analysis. Here is the great powers of the Tigris Euphrates Valley. Here is a smaller power in the Nile River Valley. And then here we are in the coastal plain of of far western Asia, or possibly in the hill country of Judea, sort of a hilly, rocky, not much going on there place, not particularly distinguished, pretty rocky, not very good agriculture. We're living in a pile of rocks in the center of what's now Israel, or you're living on a coastal plain, or you're living up in the lake country of Galilee, and everything is coming at you. The Assyrians are coming. The Syrians are coming.
Brother Chip,
The
brother Chip,
Egyptians are coming.
brother Chip. You think I don't understand what you're saying, brother Chip?
I think you do.
You looking at this story. You're not looking at this story from my point of view. I need you to take your shoes off, brother Chip. You looking at this from a Israelite, a Jewish point of view. I need you to look at this from an African point of view, brother Chip. This is wrong, brother Chip.
This is a political analysis. This is a prophecy.
Brother Chip.
Isaiah didn't bring this on. Isaiah didn't bring this on the Africans.
Right,
The
God did.
Assyrians,
God did.
the Assyrians brought this on the Africans.
Brother Chip. God said, God said, this what you get for believing in the Egyptians. This what you get for boasting on the Cushites. I will make them walk with their booty out and no shoes on. God said this. So this wasn't,
The
I'm not
the
saying Isaiah said it. God spoke through Isaiah. He spoke through Ezekiel. But this
he
is God.
this is the prophecy of what would happen, which did happen. It has nothing. The Assyrians were stronger than the Egyptians.
Brother
It's
Chip.
like if you're going to go to war. Here we are. Here. Let's say here it is. The Cushites, or the Egyptians, Upper and Lower Egypt, were getting involved into the politics of other people, other nations. They were saying, we want you to join up with us.
Brother Chip is hold on, Brother Chip. Is that what the Bible says?
Yes. Yes.
What
That,
verse is that?
well, I mean, they're saying you have to read between the lines.
Brother Chip, what I'm saying is the Bible is lying.
If you read through the lines, you had the Egyptians were coming up in the time of Josiah, and sometime before that, they were coming up and trying to invade Israel and trying to control Judea and Israel. They were trying to become the power in that part of the world, and they came into.
What century was this?
This would be in the this would be in the 600 BC. This would be in the 600 BCs to the early 500 BC. They came up. They came up. They tried to control Palestine or Israel and Lebanon and all these things. This is the history. They came up. They came up for the Africa came up into West Asia. They tried to control it. They tried to dominate it. And they came into conflict with a more powerful empire, two more powerful empires in the Mesopotamian area. The more powerful were the Assyrians first, and then the Babylonians.
Brother Chip, there's no way in history, there's nowhere in history where the Babylonians defeated the Egyptians. There's no that's the Bible story. There's no way in history where I can find that.
Well, let me look for it. Hold on.
Okay. Rambo Yappa Chopper, what's goody?
Man, just listen to y'all, man. Come on, this Bizible. Sound like you trying to convert.
Huh?
Sound like you trying to convert it, Brother Chip, give you the right answers.
Man, I'm trying to get Brother Chip. I ain't even gonna lie. Brother Chip said something that make me can't even disagree with him from an angle, from my main angle. My main angle was God is telling Isaiah and Ezekiel about the bullshit that's about to go down in Africa. And Brother Chip said the God of Israel said that. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't gonna lie, that's 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 gonna get you out of anything. I'm trying to say the God of Israel. So me and Chip gotta agree that that God of Israel ain't the goddamn. We can't. It's more than one God, bro. It gotta be.
It got to be though. When you said that, I said, "Oh, okay." That's the first time I heard anybody talk about more than one God in the Bible.
That's the first time I ever heard on here for shit show.
That's the first time I ever heard of it, ever.
I'm just hoping he on. I'm just hoping Brother Chip don't come on and say that's the we only got one God, because then then if that's the case, Brother Chip is an atheist tonight.
Oh yeah.
If he tell us this, Brother Chip is an atheist tonight. He about to go try to find a Babylon source. That's a Bible. That's a Bible. That's Bible. That's biblical history.
Yeah, man, that shit made up. We
But
need
Bo,
some we need some bones and shit.
we need all that. Bo, the damn verse say God say he will slay the Egyptians and the Cushites. Now, Cush, that's under Egypt. You know what I'm saying? That's where you get you getting into the heart of Africa. You feel me? You
Yeah.
getting into you getting into the blackity black. Now Egypt is on that border, so you can have Lower Egypt, have some light skinned 50-50 niggas, but in the heart of Egypt, in North Egypt, you know what I'm saying, you still gonna have the same people that look like Cushites. So the Bible knew what they was doing when they was describing these people. They didn't say the Egyptians and the Ottoman Empire. They said the Egyptians and the Cushites. These are two dominant civilizations in Africa. They say about to have their ass out with no shoes on.
Ooh, humiliated.
Did you know the Bible said that, Bo?
Not that I will read it. What, chapter 30?
Yeah, Ezekiel and Isaiah before that.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I seen you read it.
And then look, Brother Chip said these two verses are 2,000 years apart, 1,000, 2,000 years apart. But they both mention shitting on Africa, both. They both mention embarrassing Africa. As an African American, how do we read this book knowing that God sending shots at my people? You feel me?
To me, that goes back to slave days, our slave days. Like, goddamn, okay. If they shitting on the black people in the Bible, it only makes sense for me to give you this goddamn book because it's shitting on black people. So it don't matter if it's black people in the Bible, black people in America, black people in Africa, black people anywhere. We shitting on their ass in this book. And nigga, we controlling y'all. We shitting on y'all. So guess what? We gonna give you this book to give you some type of hope. But at the end of the day, it's secretly brainwashing you. You feel me? To think you're gonna have some hope in a hopeless situation.
Man, the
Oh
fucking
yeah.
Astros getting embarrassed, bro. This game 7, you giving Adolis Garcia, you letting this nigga hit home run every game on y'all. What type of shit the Astros got going on? It's
Astro
11-3.
losing.
Man, it's 11-3 in the 8th inning. It's game 7 right here. I guess we ain't going to the World Series this year, man. Can't make it every year.
Yeah, Astro.
But to get back on topic though, to say that Brother Chip, you ain't gonna find that source. Come back here, Brother Chip. That the Babylonian taking over Egypt. That's a biblical story. That ain't real history. Come back, Brother Chip. I got a question. My whole thing is we playing psychological games, and we seeing the aftermath of it 2,000 years later. That's what's going on. We seeing the aftermath of psychological bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And it's coming home to roost. When you got the Bible saying slay the Egyptians and the Cushites, you know what I'm saying? It's letting you know like we ain't sparing nothing black.
Mm-mm.
all you nigga, if the Bible could have said before before the Bible had um before the Bible used the word Ethiopians, I think it had Africans in it. Let me find that Ethiopian first. They changed. I know for a fact they changed words in the Bible when describing us. At first, I think it was. At first, I want to say it was African, or brother Chip. Brother Chip gonna come on and tell us. At first, I want to say it was nigga. Want to say it was something crazy. Wow, they was calling us niggas. And then they had the Western civilization had to politically correct that shit. And then they start calling us Ethiopians, Egyptians, uh, Kushites. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But let me find that damn Ethiopian first.
I want to say them the true African Christians though, the Ethiopians.
Yeah, they is, but they was just the first ones. The first ones converted. You feel me? They was just the first ones converted. Let me see, man, what they talking about. And the name of and when he heard, man, look at this, bro. This shit say, you see this right here? All right. It say, and when he heard say of Tirhaka, king of Ethiopia, behold, he is come out to fight against thee. He sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, look at this, man. King of Ethiopia, he is come out to fight against thee. It's always some bullshit. It's always gonna be some bullshit. They trying to fight the Ethiopians. Look at this shit, bro. The topaz of Ethiopia shall not equal it, neither shall it be valued with pure gold. That's a slight right there. That's a slug. You see this, bro? Princes shall come out of Egypt. Ethiopia shall soon stretch out her hands unto God. Oh, it's showing you the disconnect. Like Ethiopia was never with God.
What,
Princes
huh?
Egypt, Ethiopia shall soon stretch her hands out unto God, letting you know, yeah,
You gonna need me.
yeah, you gonna need me. You never had me. I'm about to do something that's gonna make you need me.
Make you beg for my mercy.
Come on, bro. You can't tell me like when Brother Chip said this is the God of Israel speaking. That me and Brother Chip ain't even gotta argue no more. We ain't even gotta argue. I ain't even gotta. Brother Chip is exempt. He said that's the God of Israel talking. So
What
where's the
brother
damn God?
darkness at?
What you say, Bo?
What brother darkness?
Man, let me you already know Brother Darkness gonna say he gonna say this
Precepts,
is not literal. This is not literal.
precepts, precept king.
He told me, oh yeah, I'm tripping. I talked to Brother Darkness like 2 days ago. He told me he just got a new shift. He said he just got a new shift and he trying to get another shift to get. I think he said to get nights off or something like that. But he work in the mornings now, so he try to catch him when he can. It's been I ain't
But
gonna say it's been hard to get him on because we had him on last week, but he
gotta
told me
catch
his
him on an
schedule.
off day.
What to say?
Gotta catch him on an off day.
You know what I'm saying? Catch him on a battling time. Brother Chip, man, you've been gone 10 minutes. I promise you, that is just biblical history. That's not real history. We're not gonna find that nowhere in real history about
Man,
the
brother Chip
Babylonians.
going through all the sources, man.
Hey, he didn't went through Wikipedia 3 times. Brother
It's,
Chip, get back here, man. I
I'm
got some more
listening. I'm,
questions.
I'm listening. I'm taking a look for. I'm taking a look for something here.
It's not there, brother Chip. I got another question for you.
Go ahead.
All right. So before the Bible started calling Ethiopians or Ethiopia, what was it calling Ethiopia? What were
Um,
they calling them? Blacks?
no. Let's see here.
I think it was in a King James 1611. They changed the names of the Africans. What were the Ethiopians called before? Let me see. All right. I gotta show this. Hey, Bo. Ezekiel 29. Man, I ain't even get to the good Ezekiel. Ezekiel 29, more races. And Ezekiel 29 is historically false. It says, "Behold, therefore I am against thee, and against thy rivers, and I will make the land of Egypt utterly waste and desolate, from the tower of Syene even unto the border of Ethiopia. No foot of man shall pass through it, nor foot of beast shall pass through it, neither shall it be inhabited 40 years." Now it's saying that Egypt will be uninhabited for 40 years. But we know for a fact that that's not even historically possible. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep reading. And I will make the land of Egypt desolate in the midst of the countries that are desolate. And her cities among the cities that are laid waste shall be desolate 40 years, and I will scatter the Egyptians among the nation, and I will disperse them through the countries. You back, brother Chip?
Well, yeah. Well, of course, there were like there, there were like three major, but there were like two or three major battles between the Babylonians and the Egyptians during all this time, and there was a lot of death on both sides.
Right, but Babylon never took reign over Egypt. Not one point in time in history. There had never been a Babylonian dynasty. That's like the Bible
I
history.
don't know. I'm not sure if they had to have taken the entire place in order for that prophecy to be true. I mean, because the idea isn't that Babylonian took it, but that the idea that Egypt was desolate. And there's one battle there's the first invasion was recorded on the Babylonian side, and they said there was a great deal of loss of life, and the Babylonians came back. But
Oh
that
shit! My bad, brother Chip. This nigga just hit the back. My bad. Keep going, brother Chip. What the fuck?
let's see what I lost you here. Let's see what's going on.
Let me show you, brother Chip. This what happened.
The game over?
Man, you see the score, brother Chip?
I can't see it from here. 11-3.
Yeah, man. That's ball game. We ain't going to the World Series this year.
Well,
No.
not unless they hit about three grand slam home runs, 1, 2, and 3, and end up 12-11.
But yeah, brother
Uh,
Chip, my bad. Where you was at? You was saying they didn't have to take over Egypt for the prophecy to be true.
right.
Gotcha. Another thing I want to say, brother Chip. When you say this, when you say that these commandments, these threats and prophecies were of the God of Israel. Now, when we get that's in the Old Testament, the stuff we reading.
Well, sure. This is these are the prophets. These are the writing prophets of Israel. So it's part of the prophetic scrolls.
So we ain't got to the Old Testament yet.
No, this in Christian terms would be the Old Testament.
Oh, okay. So
In the Jewish word for this is the Tanakh. So you have the Torah, which is the teaching, the Nevi'im, which are the prophets, and the Ketuvim, which are the writings. The law, the prophets, and the writings form an acronym called Tanakh.
so when you say that, when you say that these stuff is all of these ways are from the God of Israel. When we get to the New Testament, is the same person like in is the God in Revelations? Is that the same God that's in Isaiah?
Well, the revelations. Well, yes, the revelations is saying that the God of Israel is also the God of is also the God of Jesus and the God of the apostles. Yes.
So the Bible is a book for Israel.
Well, the well the a good portion of it is for Israel. Israel is the featured is one of the featured players. Israel and Judah. But there's other nations that appear into it, but the main part of the Bible is concentrating on the people of Judah and Israel.
Oh, we mentioned the Tanakh. Um, nah, not the Tanakh. Do you subscribe to the Torah?
Well, it's the Tanakh is what Christians call the Old Testament.
What about the Torah?
The Torah are the first five books, the teaching.
Okay, so the Torah is what the Catholics follow.
No, it's the Torah is the Torah is the first five books of the Old Testament. So it's part of the scripture of both Jews and Christians. Torah
Nah,
is
I thought the Jews or the Catholics follow. The Tanakh or the Torah? Which one is it?
Well, the Torah is the first five books. Tanakh is everything else. So everything else in the Old Testament. So you have, if you have a Hebrew Bible, it begins with Genesis and it ends with Second Chronicles. It's arranged a little differently, but
So
it's the same books that are in the Old Testament.
what about the Jews, brother Chip? What book do the Jews read?
Well, they have a variety of books, but as far as like their as far as their sacred books are concerned, the ones that they consider to be uh, to deal with God in a special way, it starts with the Torah, which is the most, which is the main thing that they study, and then it has the historical prophets, what they call the former prophets, which run from Joshua to Second Kings, and then they have the writing prophets, which are Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and the 12 minor prophets, and
All right,
those are the prophets.
brother Chip. I want to make sure I got this 100% correct. Want to make sure I'm not putting no words in your mouth. I want to make sure I'm understanding everything you're saying. Are you are you is your whole angle for accepting the Bible, is your whole reason for accepting the Bible is because Jesus and came and made everybody kind of acceptable?
Well, I mean, the Old Testament is preparing the way for Jesus. The prophets are preparing the way for Jesus. I mean, Jesus is the capstone of the story. It's it's the cornerstone of the whole story.
But check this out, brother Chip. You told me that where you from, your people not in the Bible,
No, we're
right?
not directly in the Bible at all. No, we're not.
Right. So where you from, your people is not in the Bible. Where I'm from, my people are in the Bible. What I'm
No, they're
saying is,
not. Not they're not. If it's Central Africa and West Africa, you're not in it either.
brother Chip, the Bible mentions two civilizations in Africa. I mean, that's like China saying we're gonna go to war with New York, or we gonna send some shit to New York, and when you was in the United States, where you was from, brother Chip?
Well, I'm in Florida right now, so
Are you are
but
you
I'm
back
from,
in you
I'm
back
from
in
the
the
state of
states?
Washington.
You back in the states?
Yes.
Okay, so that's that's like China saying we about to go to war with New York. You knowing that's your people, brother Chip. You got family there.
The point of the thing is you can say that the prophets are looking at the world with a I mean, there's the politics of the time, and then there's the religious interpretation of the politics of the time. And the prophets are dealing with the interpretation of what's going on. They're saying that the kings and the people of the they do what they want. They come to power. They make war. They make treaties. They get married. They do what they want. They go to war. They fight. They win. They don't win. It it is you know it, that's just that's just what they do. They're doing what they do.
That's
But the
political.
prophets are interpreting how God is working through the history of the time to accomplish what he wants to do. The God of Israel is working through these different nations to accomplish what he is planning to do for his people. So it's the
Brother Chip,
religious interpretation of what's going on.
brother Chip, brother Chip. The political interpretation is Israel crying, correct?
What? Say again.
The political interpretation is Israel is crying, correct?
Israel is crying in what? In what sense?
You saying that Israel Egyptian, complaining about Egypt and complaining about Cush. So the only political angle is the people of Israel are crying. That's the only political angle.
Well, they're affected by these armies moving back and forth. They're affected by the Egyptians coming up to Carchemish and where the Babylonians meet them
Now
and
let me
defeat
ask
them.
you this. Let me ask you this. In order for that statement to hold any merit, brother Chip, you would have to show me in the Bible where it says that Africa started the beginning of the war. Egypt started the war on us first. You would have to show me that. Other than that, you're taking one side only.
Well, the prophets are the prophets are telling the people of Israel that Egypt is not to be relied upon for your safety. Do not rely upon the Egyptians to save you. That's it's it would be it would be like oh, let's see, what would the equivalent thing be today? It would be like you've got a fight between, for example, the Armenians and the people of Azerbaijan, and then there's Russia, which has this military alliance, which is telling the people of Armenia, you are part of a military alliance with us, and so we'll protect you. But Russia, for Armenia, is not a protector because they had a war just recently in Nagorno-Karabakh, which is an area in Azerbaijan that the Armenians live in, and the Armenians were depending upon the Russians to keep them safe. But Vladimir Putin decided that he's not going to do anything for the Armenians. He's not going to help them. And so, if there was such a thing as an Armenian prophet, which there isn't, they would say, do not depend upon the Russians. You know, your fate is in your own hands. You have these people on the one side, and you have the Russians who claim they're going to protect you, they're going to defend you against the other powers, but they're not dependable. You can't rely on this. We have to trust in God to get us through this. It's not going to be either the Egyptians to protect us or the Assyrians or the Babylonians who are going to protect us.
Brother
You
Chip,
have to depend
if
on
I
God.
say,
That's the story.
Brother Chip, if I say in your Bible, God cursed my people, would I be a liar?
No, I don't. I'm not going to say you're a liar. My I mean, here again, it's a question of what the meaning of this is. Cursed in what way, and in what sense? For what uh, is it like a permanent forever thing? No, it's not a permanent forever thing. This is talking about a time and a place. It's not talking about everything, and it's certainly not talking about black people as blacks, because I posted on your post, when you go take a look at it, I posted the verse from Numbers where Moses has a black wife.
Let
Um,
me ask you this. Hey, Bo, you want to say something real quick, or are you good?
Oh no, go ahead.
Let me ask you this, brother Chip. When you saying it's not about color, it's not about black or white. Were there any white people in Ethiopia or Egypt? Hold up, my bad. Let me fix that because white people wasn't made yet. Were there any Arabs or Middle Eastern in Ethiopia, Egypt, or Kush at the time that God was cursing them?
I don't know the answer to that. I've seen people I've seen people in modern times in North Africa with blonde hair and blue eyes. They're Africans, but they look like Scandinavians. They do exist. There's not a lot of them, but they exist. So and then we have paintings of people in Egypt, and they're sort of light brown. They're sort of uh, light brown skin, very lighter than you, for example. They're light brown skin. Uh, you have Nefertiti. There's a statue of her, and she looks like she could step out of northern Italy or southern Italy and come in. So she looks Nefertiti, what the wife of Ramses II, seemed to be look like a Greek or a Northern Italian. So I don't have an answer for you, on what the people were all the way up and down. Were there blacks? I'm sure there were. Were there whites? I'm sure there were. But the Bible doesn't really talk about race at all. It doesn't.
Brother
It does.
Chip,
It
Brother
doesn't
Chip,
curse blacks. It doesn't praise whites.
Brother Chip.
I would say Jesus black.
Well, I don't know. I'm not. I won't.
Shit, you
We
say
don't
if
have a
you
picture of Jesus.
bronze, his hair goddamn wool. Shit. You scribing goddamn, you scribing wavy right now. Hair
Well,
wool, feet of bronze.
so you're thinking about of course, there you're looking at. You're quoting from Revelations, and the vision that Revelations has is symbolic of purity and power and strength. So it really doesn't have anything to do with appearance, but more like the impression.
Oh,
So
y'all talking about
I can't
Revelation.
tell you what the race of Jesus is.
So y'all talking about Revelation.
Right. What you're
Oh,
quoting it from is you're referring to Revelation, and it's a highly symbolic book. So it's not like it's giving you this is the physical description of Jesus. This is a description of purity, power, innocence, love. It's a symbolic representation. Your sound is off, Sean.
My bad. Hey, Brother Chip, I can't let you skate across that point. So I'm gonna ask you one more time. When these curses was going on in the Bible, when God was cursing Ethiopia, Egypt, and Cush, when he was cursing Ethiopia, Egypt, and Cush, can we I'm not go can we agree that those people in those lands were African? Can we agree to that?
It certainly looks that way.
Okay. Okay, so if we agreeing that the people of Ethiopia, the people of Egypt, and the people of Cush that was cursed in the Bible were African, can we also agree that they didn't look like a Middle Eastern? Can we also agree to that?
I don't think we can say anything about how they looked. You might have suggestions from uh, from paintings or wall paintings that have survived over the time. There's there's different. In the Old Kingdom, you have pictures of representations of Pharaoh and have some idea of what they might have looked like. But we don't know for sure. I mean, they apparently
Okay,
had dark hair. They had
but hold
sort
up,
of
brother Chip. You
light
just
skin.
contradicted yourself. You just contradicted yourself. You just told Bo. Bo just said. Bo just, and I knew Bo was playing. He just said Jesus. The Bible said Jesus was black, and you said no. That was symbolic.
Well,
So you know, hold up, brother Chip. So you know Jesus wasn't black. You know Jesus was Middle Eastern. You know a Middle Eastern and a black person don't look the same, brother Chip. You know this.
But of course, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people movement. There are blacks in Israel. There were black people in Israel. There are. So we can't say what people look like.
Brother Chip, when the
They
Bible
weren't
says,
black though. They weren't black like what he's saying black. What we know, what we stereotype is black. Like, oh, there go a black man, clutch your pocketbook. They weren't black like that. That's all he's saying, bro. Chip.
Fair
they
enough.
was
I
owning the
mean,
corner store black. They was, I mean, not black. They was owning the corner store Arab.
They were. I about to say they were Arabs. They was darker. They was darker. Whatever the hell they Saudi Arabians or whatever the fuck they were. They were just a little bit darker. That's what an Arab is. A darker, a darker,
Hey,
a
brother
darker
Chip trying to run some it.
Arabian or whatever the fuck
well,
it is.
now
Brother Chip trying to run some
you
it.
do have like the Assyrians. You do have pictures of some of the Assyrian rulers with sort of very thick, braidy type beards. I don't know what that means in the way of if they're black or white.
Brother Chip, these are all Middle East. Every person you name from the Bible is Middle Eastern. But when it's talking about good shit. So all these names you mentioning, it's always gonna look like the same person in our head. Think about Osama bin Laden. Just think about Osama bin Laden. That's the only thing you gotta think about. When you hear when you hear Egyptian, Cushite, Ethiopian, think about me.
Well, but let's say, all right, let's grant that. Let's say, look at you. What is the position of the Bible? What is the position of the God of Israel? It's not talking about Cush in Africa. It's it's referring to Cush coming up into Israel. It's the prophets are saying, don't rely on these people who are coming up into Israel, who are saying that they're going to protect you. It's not about what they're doing in their home country. It's about what they're doing in the Holy Land.
Nah, brother Chip, and in Isaiah, it said that they will walk around. It said they will walk around with their booty out.
And that
It didn't say that they was invading. It said that the Israelites was in their land.
But we know that the history says that they fought a major battle north of Judea in a place called Carchemish. And the Egyptians and the Cushites lost horribly. The Babylonian chronicles on that score says not one of them survived to go back to Egypt. Now, I think that's probably exaggerated, but they were making the claim that they absolutely won. And then when they went to Egypt to continue the fight, it says that everybody lost. So, so from the point of view of the Israelite, they're saying you can't depend upon the protection of the Cushites and the Egyptians for you. That's the story. It's not about that they're black. It's not about that they're cursed. It's that you can't rely upon them to protect you. You must rely upon your God to protect you.
Now let me ask you this: but God cursed us. Has God ever cursed Israel or Palestine? Or
Yes.
no,
Yes.
hold on, because He cursed Babylon. Has God ever cursed Israel?
Yes.
Give it to me.
Take a look at the book of Amos.
Yeah, just give me a brief, short summary of the story.
Hold on. I'll do what you did. I'll do what you did. I'll be back.
Okay. You got something to say, Rambo?
so how you feel about that shit? They say King James was black.
I ain't gonna lie to you. You got it's a new gang called a new street gang called the Hebrew
Oh,
Israelite.
your guys lost. It's 11-4. It's over.
Oh, they
Yeah,
don't play.
it's looking bad, brother Chip.
No,
It's
it's not.
over.
It's not just looking bad. It's done.
Oh, Lord. All right, now, brother Chip. That's one of my favorite teams, brother Chip. Kind of sisters about them strolls.
Oh man, we out of there.
Brother Chip said, "Stick a fork in our ass."
No, it's all done.
Like better look next year, man.
What
Hey,
you
brother
said?
Chip. Hey, what was you saying about my bad?
Uh, I
Damn.
said, how you feel about they saying King James black?
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you got a new street gang that's disguising themselves as a religious gang called the Hebrew Israelite. Black niggas with army boots
Well, they
on.
been around, man. Them folks don't play, man. They tough, boy.
Some on wear costumes, some on wear church shirts and army boots.
Yeah,
But
someone with a little the purple KKK.
yeah, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
they going around lying on the Bible saying everything black can. That's where we getting them stories from. What's up, brother Chip?
Let's see. I don't know if you can read this or not. I'm trying to. I'm trying to put this in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Judgment on Judah. Thus says the Lord: for 3 transgressions of Judah and for 4, I will not revoke the punishment, because they have rejected the law of the Lord. They have not kept His statutes, but their lies have led them astray, those after which their fathers walked. So I will send a fire upon Judah, and it shall devour the strongholds of Jerusalem. And following that is the judgment against Israel, which is
Now
more or less
look, now hold up, brother Chip. Oh, okay, okay. You got, oh, my bad. You keep going.
no. That's it for that. Now I don't know if
Okay.
this is coming through or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see it. You put it in the back chat. It's in the back chat, bro.
Okay,
Yeah, you put it in the back chat.
and
I
let's
was gonna
see.
say, oh my bad. You got to keep going, brother Chip.
Let's see here.
Funky ass Astros, man.
So really, almost the exact same thing that you noticed. Let's see here. Oh, it's not getting there. Hold on. I'll read it to you
All
because
right.
I have it here. For 3 transgressions of Israel and for 4, I will not revoke the punishment. Because they sell the righteous for silver and the needy for a pair of sandals, those who trample the head of the poor into the dust of the earth and turn aside the way of the afflicted. A man and his father go into the same girl, so that my holy name is profaned. They lay themselves down besides every altar on garments taken in pledge, and in the
Hold up,
house
brother
of the...
Chip. You said, hold up, brother Chip. You said son and father go into the same girl.
Yes,
Man, what the hell is you reading, brother Chip? That ain't the
I'm,
Bible.
yes, it's Amos chapter 2,
Hold up,
uh,
hold up, hold up.
beginning with verse 6.
My
Or
daddy wants a young cat, so I let him hit her. Let
Amos
him
chapter
hit her. Bang, bang,
and
bang, bang.
then verse 8, they lay themselves down beside every altar on garments taken in pledge. And in the house of their God they drink the wine of those who have been fined. Yet it was I who destroyed the Amorite before them, whose height was like the height of cedars, and who was as strong as the oaks. I destroyed his fruit above and his roots beneath. Also it was I who brought you out of the land of Egypt and led you 40 years in the wilderness to possess the land of the Amorite. And I raised up some of your sons for prophets and some of your young men for Nazarites.
Oh,
Is that...
brother Chip, you got to give us the context. You can't just say something so vile. You can't just say something so raunchy and not give us the damn. That sound like a porn scene, brother Chip. You got to give us. I mean, you can keep reading the verse, but give us the context to that. Like that was like that's an abomination. I see why.
Well, sure. Well, they're accusing them. I mean, I'll summarize. I mean, you could read it yourself. It's Amos chapter 2, but you're saying that the God that the prophets are always ragging on the black man, and they're not talking about, and they're praising themselves, and that's not true. Uh, they're saying here that in Israel, the northern kingdom, that they're mistreating the poor, that they are sexually loose. They're dad and son are going into probably the same prostitute or the same girl.
Is, is this the
It
Old
could be a
Testament?
prostitute or it could be an affair. It doesn't matter. But
Is this the Old
they're
Testament?
then they're saying that they take where you get a loan and the person has to give up their coat. The law talks about this. That if somebody takes out a loan with you and you take their coat as collateral, you have to give it back to them at night so they don't get cold. But in here in Amos, they're saying they lie down next to the altar. The priests they give out a loan from the temple to a poor person, and then when they go to bed at night, they lie down on the coat of the poor man. The poor man goes off and shivers all night, while the priest uses his coat to keep warm. And then in the judicial function, you have people who do something wrong, and then they tell them you have to pay so many liters of wine as a punishment for what you did. But then they go in the temple, and they go into the temple, and then they drink that stuff. It's not for them to use it. It's not for them to just have a party with. They have their wage. They should be content with that. So and so then it goes on to say that the Nazarites are the people who are supposed to not to cut their hair, not to drink wine. But then and they're supposed to prophesy, but they say, but you gave them wine, which is against their vows, and you told the prophets, the people who are supposed to tell you what God says, no, we're not going to listen to you. And so and so then the prophecy is no, I'm going to push you down. That if you want to run away, you won't be able to. If you want to fight, you won't be able to. If you want to save your life, you won't be able to.
Hey, brother Chip,
And
is
here
that
again, they say those who are facing this will run away naked. So here's the idea that the prophets that Isaiah said he went around for 3 years being naked, and here Amos tells the people, you are going to run away naked.
oh, God like people being naked?
Well, that's what happens when people lose in war. Either they run away naked or they're caught and they're stripped naked.
I got a question for you. Is that the Old Testament, brother Chip?
Yes.
Okay, now, brother Chip, if I could show you now I like how you sourced up. I like how you showed us that. If I could show you over 20 verses where the Bible is shitting on Egypt, Ethiopia, and Cush, is that making a point to you, or is it more so like it's not personal?
Well, it's certainly not personal. It's certainly not personal to us. This is this is about events of 2,600 years ago. So it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing
Brother
to do with
Chip,
Central
brother Chip,
Africa.
brother Chip. You know how you know how long ago the uh the sub-Saharan slave trade was?
The sub-Saharan slave trade went on to till about 1840 or so.
You know when you know how long I'm but that ain't even giving it justice. The damn Arab been in Africa before time and memorial. What I'm saying is it trying to convert us to Muslim. What I'm saying is, brother Chip, that still got an effect on me today. We
Well,
can't say
it has
we
an
can't
effect
say
in your memory,
3,000
but
years don't got an effect on me. And them 2,000, 3,000 years is really fake history. But what I'm saying is, brother Chip, everything in history plays a part in today, brother Chip. If the Irish wouldn't have beat the Dutch or the Germans wouldn't have played with the Russians, you wouldn't be here, brother Chip. It's a lot of things that go into why you here, brother Chip. That's thousands of years old.
well, sure. I mean, sure, everything is connected in one way or another, but it's not. But but a prophecy that was made to people in Israel to tell them not to depend upon the coming of Cush and Egypt to protect them. That Cush and Egypt will not only not be able to protect them, they will be conquered and defeated, and they will not be able to protect you. It's the same as if somebody today, looking at the political situation, were to say, Armenia, don't depend upon the Russians. Don't depend upon the United States. They're too far away. You have to figure it out yourself. You have to trust in God. You have to trust in what you have in your heart, your soul, your mind. You can't depend upon somebody else to defend you.
Brother Chip, I would agree with you 100% if the verse didn't say God said or God cursed. God said he gonna make them strip butt naked. God said they gonna walk in Egypt gonna be in shame. I will agree with you 100% if these people making rational decisions or tactical warlike decisions. I would agree with you. But God was the final judgment, brother Chip.
But it was practic. Prophecy was also looking at the world that they were living in. It wasn't some kind of fairy world that they were living in. It was talking about the world they actually lived in. The world where you had Assyria and Babylon, who were extremely powerful, great armies, great leadership, powerful siege engines, in enormous, well-equipped soldiers, and and Egypt also with well-equipped soldiers, powerful army, coming up to tell you what to do and when to do it. What do you do? How are you supposed to live through that? They're both of them can crush you without even thinking about it. How are you going to live through that?
So that's political, right?
Well, it's the religious interpretation is God will be with you. If
No,
you are with
no,
God,
no. The,
God will be
the
with you.
religious interpretation is the curse. You forgot about the curse.
Well, I mean, they they are they are cursed to the extent that they will not help you. They are cursed to the extent that they will lose. That they are
No, no, no.
that
The curse, brother Chip. The curse is they will be butt naked, brother Chip. You forgot.
okay.
The cur-
That's what happens when you lose and you're enslaved. That's the way it is.
so I'm saying it was all right. Look, let's I'm gonna tell you what the prophecy fake, and I can prove the prophecy was fake. Now, that verse I pulled up was Isaiah 20. It also said that it will burn Egypt to the ground. We don't have no physical, no historic references of Israel burning Egypt to the ground. And hold up, let me pull that verse up.
Well, there's three different campaigns. One of which we know, where they say there was a huge amount of loss of life on both sides, and the Babylonians went home, and the Egyptians lost a ton too. Then there's two more campaigns that Nebuchadnezzar took down in Egypt that we don't know the results. But it's not necessary for Nebuchadnezzar not to have conquered the place for the prophecy still to be true, because you can have a tremendous amount of destruction. You can have you can have cities set on fire, and you can have people taken enslaved in those campaigns, and all of that is true, and all of that can be true. And we're not in a position to know everything that happened in those campaigns because
Brother Chip,
they
Brother
didn't
Chip,
tell the whole story.
Brother Chip, we got historical references. If we still got pharaohs and kingsmanships during the time of this Bible story, then it should be wrote that Egypt was burned to the ground or Egypt was set to fire. Let me show you this verse real quick. We can't find that in history though.
We also don't have the full story from other sources.
Brother Chip, if the Bible made it up, it ain't no full story.
But you are assuming that the results of the campaigns did not have some of those effects that the Bible talks about. The allies of Egypt fell, and they were gravely weakened by the three Nebuchadnezzar campaigns. The first one we know. The first one the Babylonians talked about themselves. And that the allies of Egypt, which is the point here, the allies of Egypt will fall. They, the allies, will be desolate among desolate lands. And there, the allies' cities will be among ruined cities. And then they will know I am the Lord when I set fire to Egypt, and all her helpers are crushed. Well, I mean, there was the war, which happened. There were 3 campaigns in Egypt, so there was fire in Egypt. There were fires set in Egypt. They don't have to be conquered for the prophecy to be true.
Brother Chip, man, you I ain't gonna lie, you good. You good tonight. You got your damn thinking cap on tonight. You said they set fires. They ain't have to set it on fire. I like how you did that, Brother Chip. I like that. You ran, yeah, you skedaddled out of that one. That prophecy gotta be true. If that prophecy ain't true, nigga is World War 90. I like how you making sure that damn prophecy live, Brother Chip. I like that.
Well, I mean, I understand you're not. I mean, you're not inclined to believe anything. I understand that. But the fact that you don't believe it doesn't mean that that if you understand both the history and the prophecy correctly, that it can be interpreted as true.
Brother Chip, if I say I'ma set fire, if I say I'ma set fire to Bo, if I say I'ma set fire to Bo, I'm not gonna set a couple fires around him. If I say I'm setting fire to Bo, Bo gonna be on fire. If the Bible say the Bible say God say I'm gonna set Egypt on fire, you can't say, well, it was some fire set in Egypt.
Well,
That
no,
means God ain't
there
powerful
are,
like he's
well,
saying. He
you have a
my bad. Sorry,
metaphorical
brother.
interpretation, and you have a physical interpretation. So metaphorically, if you go down with an army, and you go down with siege towers and try to set things on fire, metaphorically, you're setting the place on fire by invading. So by invading, you're setting the place on fire. And secondly, by attempting to win and using fire to try to win, you are effectively setting Egypt on fire. There might have been, for example, we don't know the whole story. They could have come down at the time of harvest and burned the harvest. And if they came down and burned the harvest and burned different parts of the country, you could say, I will set fire, I, the Lord, using Nebuchadnezzar as my agent, will set fire to Egypt. There's a lot we don't know. If we knew the whole story, we would say, yes, of course.
Brother
Or we
Chip,
could say no,
when you say
or we could say no, of course not.
Brother
But the
Chip,
thing
when you
is,
say there's a lot we don't know, that's not you got a laptop in your hands, Brother Chip. We can look up this stuff and find out it's not historically facts. When you say you set fire to Egypt, when you say you set fire to Egypt, that means Ezekiel took over Egypt. That means Ezekiel and his people bomb rushed Egypt with God's power behind them. So they had
well,
some mighty
Ezekiel
force.
didn't do anything. Ezekiel was sitting in Babylon during all of this prophecy. Ezekiel did nothing.
So who was so it say that they were so who ruled Egypt after this prophecy?
Well, there again, it doesn't matter who ruled Egypt after the prophecy. Egypt continued to exist. Egypt was not totally conquered by the Babylonians. Egypt was conquered by the Persians after that. They were conquered by the Assyrians for a short time. They were besieged in 3 different campaigns by the Babylonians, and then they were completely conquered by the Persians.
Brother Chip, what I'm saying is this story speaks about the fall of Egypt, right or wrong.
It speaks about it speaks about the attack against Egypt. It speaks about
Brother
about the
Chip, the
calamity of
Bible
Egypt.
verse the Bible verse say, I will turn Egypt to dust.
Well, I mean that there again, that may have happened. That may have happened, but it doesn't mean that the ruler doesn't have to be destroyed for Egypt to be turned to dust. You have 3 military campaigns,
Brother Chip. If we
in
both
which they
you
say
just
there was
said,
great loss of life.
Brother Chip, you just said that Egypt continued on after this prophecy.
Yes.
The verse says, God say, nigga, I'm about to drop a nuke on Egypt. So now you saying he was just talking about one city in Egypt?
I mean, the campaign was extensive. We don't know how far down they got. We don't know how far down the Babylonians got. We don't know how much damage they did. We don't know how many people died. The first campaign, you have an account. There's 2 more campaigns that are referred to in the literature, which they didn't recount. We don't know how those went. We don't know the destruction they caused. But the prophecy doesn't have to include the total destruction of Egypt to be true. You have to read it carefully. You can't read into it. You have to read it and then try to see as best you can what actually happened.
So when United States bombed Japan, did they say they bombed Asia or they said they bombed Hiroshima?
Well, I mean, I'm here we're talking about a time much later, which we know a great deal more about than we would something 2,600 years ago.
Nah, brother Chip, we know. I could tell you enough about Egypt to know that ain't no goddamn Babylonians came and turned Egypt to dust.
Well, well, there again, if a great part of the harvest was destroyed, they came down at harvest time. If they came down in the dry season, if they came down at the dry season and burned a bunch of crops, that would be turning the country to dust. We don't know if that happened or it didn't, but it could certainly have happened. They
Oh,
could have
hold up,
set
brother
trees on
Chip,
fire. They could have set crops on fire. They could have partially set cities on fire without conquering them. So
brother
so it
Chip,
could so it's possible
brother
this
Chip,
is true.
brother Chip. You can say you don't know, right? But I can't say I
We
don't
don't
know.
know.
No,
We
hold up.
don't know.
I can't say I don't know because look, I gotta look at your Bible literal. So when your Bible say this right here, look at this right here, brother Chip.
They
When
will
your
be
Bible
vested with
say,
a uh,
when it
well,
say
well,
big dog to Aswan, brother Chip, I gotta take
yeah,
that literal, brother Chip.
well, it might be literal. Her strength will fail. Her strength will fail. The lands will be ruined
Oh,
between
my bad, you.
Aswan and Asgdal. So
My bad, brother.
that's about halfway down Egypt. If the geographical references are the same as today, that's about halfway down what's Egypt now.
Right, brother Chip. And there's no physical record, physical proof nowhere that this happened, brother Chip. What I'm trying this what I'm saying.
The
After this
Babylonian
discussion,
Chronicle said that both sides had a massive loss of life.
this what I'm saying, brother Chip. After tomorrow, I mean after tomorrow, just do more research on it, brother Chip,
All right,
because I wanna know if I'm taking the Bible too literal or not.
you might be. I don't know. You might be taking it too literally because this is a poetic book.
Okay,
This is poetry. This is not. This isn't accounting.
gotcha. Let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you two more questions before we get up out of here. That's cool,
All right.
brother Chip.
Okay.
Okay. So when we speak of when we speak of Christianity, what is your thoughts on speaking tongue?
Well, there seems to be two parts to this. One is that people are praying in a language they don't know, and another part of it is speaking an intelligible tongue that they don't know, but somebody else does. So I mean, that's the idea of, and there are people. I have heard of people speaking languages that they didn't know, but that somebody in the room actually knew. I've heard of the phenomenon. I think it's rare, but I've heard of it.
So let me ask you this. Do you think do you think that's something if you go into church that's speaking tongue, will you eventually be speaking in tongue?
Maybe,
Is it
maybe.
more is it more likely you would develop that trait than going to a church that don't do nothing like that?
I think that's also true.
Okay, so would it would it also be true that a church that speaks in a church that the members are speaking in tongue are more closer to God than a church that they don't do none of that?
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it because the people who are close to God are the people who do godly things. And I don't think that speaking or not speaking is any better. I mean, the question is how good are the people? How kind are they? How generous are they? How forgiving are they? Those are much more important signs of of being close to God than whether you speak a language or you don't speak a language.
Okay, so would you okay, so I'm gonna give you you said you have two thoughts and processes on a speaking in tongue. I'm gonna give you my two thoughts and processes on a speaking in tongue.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my dad went to a church where the members were speaking in tongue.
Okay.
and nobody was translating. It's like they was catching the Holy Spirit and then would start speaking in tongue. But nobody was there to translate nothing. It was kind of like they was shouting out loud, but at the same time praying to themselves. It sounded like somebody. It sounded like God was speaking through them.
But nobody
Sounded
was
like God
interpreting.
had, sounded like God had full control of their body and He was speaking through them. Now,
Okay.
now I also have another one where just like how you said, well, kind of a little bit different, where you speaking in tongue. When you speak in tongue, you're supposed to have somebody there to interpret what is being said or something like that.
Yes, yes, and the thing that I have run across very rarely. I'd have to look. Maybe I can find that and post it on one of your posts. Um, but I've heard, for example, of somebody coming to church and hearing somebody speak in tongues, and they're let's say they were one case that I remember is that they were from Sweden, and they came to a church in the USA, and they asked the people in the congregation, "Where did you learn to speak Swedish? You know, you were praising God in Swedish." And they said, "I don't know Swedish." So this is a very rare phenomenon. I can't explain it. If this happened,
I think,
which I don't know, I can't
brother
tell you
Chip,
I know for sure this happened, but I have heard that it has happened that people who speak a language, a real language like Swedish, not a make believe language or a prayer language, but a real language, go to a church, hear somebody saying something, and then they ask afterwards, where did you learn to speak my language?
I got you, brother Chip. I think we having two totally different conversations. I think what you were speaking of is literally a different language. What I'm saying about having an interpreter there to say what you saying back to you in English, I'm speaking of uh speaking in tongue, like not speak like grrr, like not no established formal language, not no established language at all. More so like outbursts and
I've
a
seen
whole
I've
bunch
seen
of,
that too. I've seen that too.
yeah. So I'm not saying like
You're not
somebody
talking about what I'm talking about.
right.
But what I was talking about, and I'd have to look to see where the modern examples or more modern examples of that are. But I think that what I'm talking about is more what the book of Acts was talking about, that suddenly people heard the gospel in their own language from people who didn't speak it.
So what I'm talking about with somebody at catching the Holy Spirit, speaking in tongues, saying ineligible words. Have you ever heard of that?
Sure, yeah, I've heard of that. I've seen it. I've seen it.
What do you call it?
But I think that a lot of that is in the sense of people who don't know what to say, and they just say, "Holy Spirit, tell me what I'm supposed to say to you because I don't know what I'm saying." And there's a reference to that also in the New Testament where the Spirit intercedes for us with sighs too deep for words. And that I think is what that sort of speaking in tongues is what that passage is talking about.
So you basically saying they catch the Holy Spirit and start letting their mouth make words up.
But that is a case where they're not trying to interpret for somebody else. They're praying for themselves.
Right. So when I told you about the second example where I was
I've
told
seen
that
that too.
when I
I've
was
seen
told that
that too. I can't tell you. I can't tell you if they're, how authentic. If is that always authentic? I suspect it's not always authentic. But could it be authentic? Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. It could be authentic. It could not be authentic. It's very difficult to tell. Can people mislead themselves? Of course they can. We know that.
most definitely. Hey, brother Chip, man, I appreciate you for your knowledge and wisdom tonight. We got to get it in again, man. You already know. This weekend, probably Saturday night. How you looking?
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll see what I can do.
All right, man. I
But
hope. I hope.
wish you a good night. Nice to see you all.
Hey, brother Chip. I hope the states take care of you.
Okay. Nice to see you.
Hey, Rumbo Yappa Choppa.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. I gotta ask you two questions, man. Your ass been Christian this whole platform, so I gotta ask you two questions. You heard me, both.
Yeah, I heard.
All right, yeah. So you know when when religious people try to validate their religious book, you know what they go to, Bo?
What?
What they go to?
The New Testament?
Now, when they trying to validate the book, the Bible or the Quran, when religious people trying to validate their holy book, what field of study they go to make themselves seem credible?
Oh, the science field.
Bo, so let me ask you this: if science is that credible, if science is that credible, where religious people will literally say, "Go to the science, it proves it." They will say this about anything. You bring up anything, say no, this a lie. They will say no, science proves it. What we always when we just trying to disprove this religious shit, what we always say, go get the what?
Man, listen, man.
What we always say, Bo, go get the what?
Oh, what we say? Go get your proof.
Go get where they
They proof it. They proof in they book though, in the
Oh no
Bible.
Bo. I was saying when we talking to religious people saying that nigga ain't real, go get his what? What we saying? Go get his what?
Oh, well, hold on. Oh, slick lost his credentials. I don't
Nah,
care.
the phones.
Oh, go get the phone.
Yeah, yeah, to prove that the niggas that's having these prophecies and doing all this shit is real. We say what the bones at?
Oh yeah, what the bones at? The
So
skeletons.
you feel me?
Skeleton was at.
Bro, this just I ain't even got no question. We gonna close it out. I ain't got no question. I'm gonna just give you this food for thought. When religious people try to prove they bullshit, they look for science to back them up. That's where they go to. That should say something, bro.
When it comes to this shit, man, science is in everything, man.
I know you 50-50, man. I know you 50-50, man.
That shit in everything, like, but it just like when it comes to me, like I don't stop. You feel me? I be feeling like Kevin Gates. I don't get tired. So the shit that motherfucker don't feel like matter, that shit matter to me. Cause guess what? What we say? Oh, we ain't stopping world hunger. We ain't stopping police brutality. But shit, what about this bullshit that motherfuckers say? Goddamn, why would you want to do that? Why would you want to do this? How we know, goddamn, if we do that, come to a conclusion or whatever, all the trial errors, all the shit that we go through, how we know that ain't gonna stop that? How they know that? How we know this ain't gonna stop world hunger? You feel me? Like it be a lot of shit, but I just know it just seems like I'm 50-50 cause shit. Like I know, goddamn, we got a lot of pseudo ways.
Bo, I know for a fact a religious person could come on this platform and start talking that Bible shit or that Quran shit, and you will beat their ass up with the science.
I ain't good cause that shit count. That shit that shit down there 100% count. To me, cause shit, for one, you ain't got no fucking bone. For two, goddamn, I can't. If I can't do this shit, if I can't go there my damn self, I don't give a damn if it's outer space. I don't give a fuck if it's a tombstone. I don't give a fuck what it is. If I can't go there my goddamn self, I got to question it. I got to. That's the point of being woke. The point of being woke ain't okay shit. Nigga, I know goddamn without science, woo 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 woo. That ain't goddamn being woke. That just goddamn being enlightened on some shit. You feel me?
Yeah,
Being
yeah,
woke don't really
yeah.
mean questioning shit. That shit don't really mean like, okay, shit. Oh, nigga, I'm an anarchy god now, nigga. I'm up. Or nigga, man, that shit don't mean none of that green ass country shit. That shit just mean goddamn not going for anything, not being so gullible now. You feel me? That shit just mean, okay, goddamn, bitch. Okay, I know the sky blue. I see this bitch blue. But why is it blue? Okay, you talking about precipitation, vaporation, all these Asians. Okay, you feel me? All right. Okay, damn. Now I know exactly why the sky is blue, and a bitch ain't shoot a blue paintball in the sky or some lame ass green ass shit. You see what I'm saying? That just be my thing. I just question everything until I could goddamn I feel comfortable with agreeing with the shit. You feel me? I just don't agree with the shit.
That's understood. Man, give us some news we can use before we get up out of here, man.
But y'all better load up, boy. About to be a war. Y'all better go. Y'all better wake up to the World War III shit. They gonna drag us in this shit.
Come on.
Bitch, they goddamn flying Israeli flags and shit. Bitch, you in America, bitch.
Riding with the bullet.
Yeah, everybody outside of Israel, they fucking enemy. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran.
Son, go other ways just to help my position. When I was broke, I just knew I would get it. That hate shit you want ain't no good for my spirit. It is what it is. Forgive me. My full of ghost crackers smiling, he glisten. I was the old my phone jumping this. Appreciate that, OG. Hey man, I gotta show this Friday, man. Y'all pull up, man. This Friday we outside, man. At the getaway place. Y'all know what's going on, man. Go hit that stage 8 to 1. Gas on deck, everything on deck, with mama on deck. I'm talking about.
Yeah, I wish I could pull up on that motherfucker.
Man, you gotta get me plugged in where you at, so I can catch a flight out there and do a show out there and get a little realization for my reservation.
I get me shit right, man. I had goddamn. Yeah, where you can be comfortable about this bitch. I can get you some shows, do some shows out here. That
Real
shit
scribbler.
Yeah, that shit ain't nothing.
Real scribbler, no scribbler.
Don't put something together.
Hey, real scribbler, no scribbler, bro.
Real skirt, no bird.
All right, my boy. We're gonna go live Wednesday.
All right. To the next church.